Mom at the dinner table. Great, yeah. Yeah, good vibe. Yeah, how are we coming back from that? How are we coming back from that? I don't know, put on fucking Jeopardy. I don't know what to do. Let's just have a quiz together as a family. Here's how we come back for it. Are you ready for your next comedian, everybody? That's a good friend of mine. Put your hands together for Dylan Horvat, everybody.
I have to follow that now, thanks. Well, who's drinking tonight? Yeah? Who's doing drugs tonight? Oh, so it's not just me. That's sweet. No, I'm kidding. I barely touch drugs. I never did any drugs until I was 25. Remember January 2018, I was 25, I smoked weed for the first time. A month later, I did acid for the first time. I'm kind of glad I stopped the trend there. Just every month jump into a different escalation of drug use, like January weed, February LSD, March, I don't know, heroin mixed with crack cocaine and crystal meth. I didn't even smoke weed several times in a month. I smoked weed once, went straight to acid and tripped balls for 24 hours. And there's nothing funny I can say about smoking weed. I felt happy and relaxed. Hilarious. Now, the setup for the acid trip was great. We did it in like my shaman hippie friend's backyard, and they set it up to be the best trip possible. And I did it with one other guy. We were both doing acid for our first times. For those of you who don't know, the Daptoids probably do, but acid, also known as LSD, is a psychedelic hallucinogenic drug. Usually comes in a little paper square. You stick it under your tongue, kicks in within an hour. And the first couple of hours of it were great. I felt amazing. The hallucinations were really cool. My friends turned into animals. A bar of soap turned into a baby ogre. A statue of a cat turned into a real cat. With fur and everything. But every trip is different for every person. Like take my friend, for example. His trip was like a week-long trip to Disneyland as a kid. Like, he loved it all the entire time. He had the time of his life. My trip was like a week-long trip to Canberra. Like, the first day is really cool because you get to, like, go to Questacon and see the War Memorial and all that. Then you realise you're trapped in Canberra for the next 6 days. And a few hours in, I hit the peak and I'm starting to freak out about everything. I'm just standing up at one point and holding onto a chair. And then I go to walk away and I felt the tug on my arm. So I freaked the fuck out because I forgot I was holding onto a chair. It apparently makes you lose your object permanence or something. It's known to make you really existential and nihilistic too, so maybe walking past a graveyard at 4 a.m. wasn't the best idea. Anyway, so about 6 a.m, I'm starting to feel better. Me and my friend are just watching the sunrise, apparently forgetting what the sun was because we're just staring at it, permanently damaging our retinas. Kind of like what I'm doing with these lights right now. So another thing about that day is I had plans to go to an engagement party at the Botanical Gardens at 12 p.m. So 11 a.m. hits and I'm like, you know what, I'm not hallucinating anymore. I have actual control over my mind and thoughts again. I feel a little bit droopy in the body, but that's okay. So I decided I was alright to drive. I drove on the freeway like it was a school zone. Like a busy school zone where kids were actually crossing. I dropped the Disneyland friend home. He has a shower and goes right to sleep. I pick another guy up and we drive to the Botanical Gardens, which must have like an acid activation force field around it. Because as soon as I walk in, I start seeing shit again. There was a banana peel on the ground that just turned into a moving slug. I saw a person made out of bark walk out of a tree. My friend started getting green skin and his face turned into... I can only describe it as a racist cartoon of an Asian man. Then a duck walked up to us, and in my wacky brain then and there, I thought it might be funny to fart on the duck. So I turned around, bent over, and I farted on that duck. It was a huge fart too. The duck gets freaked out and waddles away, my mate's laughing his ass off. But the thing about acid is every feeling you have is like really enhanced and intensified. So I only farted, but I was under the impression that I just shat myself then and there. Like, I felt diarrhea running down the back of my leg and everything. To everyone else on acid is like, oh, everything about the world is amazing. I am one with nature. I just changed the entire outlook of my life and future. Me on acid is like, oh, I think I just shit myself. And we finally make it to the actual engagement party, and I'm just like trying to act normal, keep eye contact with everyone, but then a woman wearing sunglasses walks over and starts talking to me. and I can't see her eyes, so that freaks me the fuck out. I give a $20 note to the girl collecting, money for gifts for the engaged couple, and she jokingly just goes, "Oh, thanks for the drug money." So that freaks me the fuck out. And then we just have to stand there and listen to the speeches from the couple and their families and everything. I just have to stand there and not move or say a word. So that freaks me the fuck out. That wasn't the acid, that's just me as a person. So yeah, I was tripping. People told me it would last 10 to 12 hours tops. No, I was on that for 24 hours. So eventually I do go to another friend's place. I crash immediately and I wake up feeling 100%. And most importantly, only stuck to weed from then on. I've done coke a couple of times and done speed, but why would people do coke when speed exists? You know how much coke you need to buy and snort to actually have it affect you? Or am I alone in this? Who here has gotten a fun buzz off one line? No one, exactly. Speed, take one. It's several lines of coke in one little tablet. One thing I haven't tried is MDMA. I've been warned against it because people have told me you feel amazing when you take it, but after you're finished, the come down is the worst feeling you'll ever have. And as someone who gets suicidally depressed every time I ejaculate, I ain't trying MDMA. Thanks everyone, I'll give you back the mic now.
Darren Horvat, everybody, keep it going. All right.